さすがに一瞬だったし、誰も見てないよね。はあ、四女は大変だ。
The Shiunji Family Children, this was episode number 4, and here's the deal. I had told myself going into this episode that I'm gonna give it this episode and I'm gonna make a decision if I keep watching it or not. And the real reality is I think episode 4 was good enough to warrant one more. Now, the same problems that I talked about last week, I still have here, and even the cliffhanger we got left off on last week with Ouka, which is the pink hair girl, I can't even call it confessing, but basically telling, our MC, telling him that, I love you or whatever. Like, we got left off on that cliffhanger last week, and I guess we kind of got like a completion of that this week, but really it was just her way out of it. Like, she kind of weaseled her way out of it, just saying like, oh, I'm really proud of you, Arata. Like, I'm proud that you didn't, I don't even know what she was proud of. Like, you didn't cater to the fact that Kotono confessed to you, because Kotono has been the only one to legitimately like say like, not as a brother, like, I'm all about you. You know what I mean? She's the only one to legitimately say it that way. The pink hair girl, she said, I love you. 𝐒𝐻𝐸, was testing him, but, you could definitely tell that she's interested. Minami is the only one that seems kind of like legitimate, like sister. It seems like she probably has a semblance of interest there, but she has other things and other priorities. She seems the only one to kind of fit the actual sister bill. Bonri seems to have her own mental, even Arata called her out this episode like she's doing mental gymnastics. She seems to have mental gymnastics with this whole thing of how she views Arata. The reality for most women is like, if you are younger than them, you're almost disqualified as a potential partner. And my guesstimate is not only is Arata, 2 years younger than her. I think she's 18 or 19. So he's 1 to 2 years younger than Bonri at this point because she's in college. So typically, just based on those merits, that would disqualify him as a partner. But then on top of that, he's also her brother. And because she's the oldest, you seem that she would be the most mature and whatever. But the way that she's been handling it has been very her vibe. And I still get weirded out a little bit. The fact that Arata gets so hot and bothered by Bonri, and yeah, she's rubbing up on him and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, that's your sister. Blood or not, you know what I mean? Like, that's your sister. Like, you grew up as if she was like the old, like your old sister figure, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way to diswrap your head about that. So the fact that he continues to get all flustered about her is still really weird to me. But regardless, who knows what her motivations are? Who knows what she's dealing with outside of, whatever. If I had to guess, if I had to put my my investigatory anime hat on, I bet that she has a boyfriend and he's probably not the best person in the world. And Arata is going to come and be Captain 𝐒𝐻𝐸𝐻, and maybe he'll, come across them or something, and he'll protect her. He'll go on defense mode, and that'll have Arata be viewed in a different light to Bonri, especially because her comment was like, oh, you're still too young for all this kind of thing. Really weird comment, by the way. But my guess is that something like to that effect will happen. I bet she does have a piece of shit boyfriend. And I bet Arata is the one that comes and becomes Captain 𝐒𝐻𝐸𝐻. And then that ends up twisting her the way that she originally wanted to handle things. I bet that twisted things. And I could bet money on that scenario happening. Regardless, though, okay, let me just talk about this. Like, so I think episode 4 was interesting enough to warrant a one more. I like the conversation between Arata and Shion. I know, like last week, I kept talking about how Shion is apparently not a man to the other 5 sisters. It's completely understandable. We know that he has a girlfriend. That still doesn't disqualify him as a man. And I understand he has a girlfriend, and I understand the sisters may understand that. And I think if Arata had a girlfriend too, this would make this whole situation way better. But at the end of the day, it doesn't disqualify that Shion is still a man. But it looks like the sisters don't really view him that way, on top of the fact that he also has a girlfriend. But the cliffhanger we got left off on last week, you know, I don't feel anything about it. Like I don't feel like, oh wow, like okay, yeah, I feel good about it. I don't feel anything about it. You know, I'm still kind of perturbed about it a little bit because Ouka, you know, says I love you to Arata. And really his only, like, everyone makes it really weird. Like even Minami, she was in the bath talking about like, oh, you know, it's such a big deal for her to say I love you and this and that. It's like, that's your brother though. Like his only response, you know, whether it is you know, what do they say in Japanese all the time? Like daisuki, you know, daisuki's like I like you, and then aishiteru or whatever you say is like I love you. And I understand that there's a semblance between like, you know, the I love you isn't common language. It's more I like you, like I like you a lot. You know what I mean? And I understand that there's a difference in that. But regardless, when it's your family member, like the only response is I love you too, right? Like if I have, you know, if I have like a cousin, you know what I mean? Like if I have like one of my cousins, like, hey, you know, whatever, like, oh, I love you. It's like, oh yeah, I love you too. You know, that should be like your only response, you know, because you do like, it's like, oh yeah, I love my cousins. You know what I mean? Like I don't have brothers or sisters, so that'd be my, that's my thing. But like when I see my kids, you know, like my son will be like, oh, he'll tell my daughter like, oh, I love you. And then, you know, she'll say, I love you too. Or, you know, my son, you know, he's a male. So he's hard headed, you know? So sometimes, you know, my daughter will be like, oh, I love you. And then he'll be like, you know, I'd be like, hey. And they'd be like, love you too. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only response there. So the fact that Arata got hung up even for a second, I get it. You were told that you were adopted or whatever, but that's still your, like, I can't do the mental gymnastics. Like, that's your sister. So that still bothers me to no end. And then the fact that Shion just keeps being an instigator. He's like, oh, so what do you feel about Kotono? What do you feel about Bonri? What do you feel about it? It's like, yo, those are your sisters, dude. Why do you keep trying to pump up bro over here into some rom-com? It's like, yo, those are your sisters. Like, no matter what, the end of the day is, yeah, you're living with 5 girls, but like those are your sisters. It's not like you're living with 5 friends or 5 random girls all of a sudden. So that's kind of the issue that I have is just Arata and the way like the way he thinks with his pee-pee. I don't know if I genuinely like that or not. And I also don't know how I feel about if any of the 5 girls end up becoming a genuine love interest for him. I don't know how I feel about that. And like, how do you tell your dad? You know what I mean? Again, adopted or not. How do you say like, oh yeah, I'm going to go, you know, I'm going to marry my sister. It's like, what? Like, how would you like, I feel like dad's soul would be crushed at that point. You know what I mean? Regardless if they were adopted or not, those are his children. So I don't know. I'm going to give it one more episode though. Like episode 5 is going to be make it or break it for me. I'm either going to, episode 5 is going to either be like, oh, I'm going to stick with this for sure. Like whether I don't feel great about it or not, I'm going to stick with it. But episode 5 is going to be the determining factor of like, okay, I'm going to continue because I'm just enjoying some of the fan service, you know, like seeing Minami in the bath, seeing Seiha in the bath. Lots of bath scenes, actually, now that I think about it. You know, seeing the girls dressed up in a certain way. I like Kotono quite a bit. I think she has the most pleasable features out of all of them. If I had to rank the girls right now, I think Kotono's number 1, Seiha's number 2, Minami, Bonri, and then Ouka. Is Pink Hair Girl really last? I think so. I think Kotono, Seiha, Minami, Bonri, Ouka. I think in that order for me. So I'm still rooting for Kotono if I had to, you know, root for any of them, but I really don't want to. Like, I'd rather just Arata put his foot in the sand, but we know that's not going to happen. So if I'm going to stick with it, it's going to be because of, like, I just love, you know, a couple of the characters. I like the fan service, or maybe it starts to get funny because the genre is comedy romance. I have yet to laugh, so maybe episode 5. Like I said, that's going to be a make it or break it for me. And I guess we'll decide if we continue going forward. Anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, how you're feeling about this show, if you're going to stick with it, if you're going to put the pause on it and come back at the end of the season, if you're just going to drop it completely. Just let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.